Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. To get all 10 Spectral Reflections, you're going to need to actually do this map's Easter egg, and as you go through the steps, you're going to find new reflections. Now, I don't want to make this video an entire new Easter egg guide. I've already got that. It's linked in the description down below and in the corner of the screen right now if you need it. So what I'm going to do is assume that you have knowledge of how the Easter egg on this map works and talk you through what you need to do as bonus stuff in order to get all your reflections unlocked. When you've turned on Power and Pack-a-Punch and run around to get your 3 Ethoscope parts and built those, a portal's going to spawn in at Speed Cola. This is as the Easter egg normally functions. However, instead of grabbing the diary and giving it to the 3 ghosts right away like you would normally do in the egg, you've got a couple of reflections that you can now find. These will only be spawned in when you're going through this exact Speed Cola portal to do this step of the Easter egg, the diary step. And as such, if you progress further, like if you go and talk to all 3 of those diary ghosts now, you're not going to be able to find the earlier reflections because your portal will not reopen. So the way I did this is I activated my portal, went to the Dark Ether, but then instead of getting the diary and stuff just yet, I went and talked to this Spectral Reflection, which is in front of the armor machine. That's number 1 out of 10. When you've listened to that, you can also go and do your free die upgrade, get that door open, get the die unlocked and stuff, but then in that room, or rather outside that room, there will be another Spectral Reflection which you can grab. You don't need to give the diary to these ghosts, by the way. You just need to go and hold square on them and it will spawn them in. When you're nearby, you'll see the blue glow. With those 2 out of the way, I'm going to quickly remind you about the ghost diary Spectral Reflections because they do count towards our 10. You've got one here, the first one inside the Speed Cola room. You're going to need to grab the diary first before you talk to this one so you can give it the book and actually start it talking. The second reflection is going to be in the trials room. Once again, you will need to give this one the book. And the third one is going to be in front of the Ethoscope bench, and this one also will require the book, but no further reflections will require the book in your game. When you've talked to that third ghost in front of the Ethoscope table, you're no longer going to be able to use that Speed Cola portal. The next thing that you need to do is get all of your wonder weapon upgrades just like you were doing the Easter egg, so run through those, and then when you next have a portal spawn in inside Speed Cola, when you're on the step just before getting the wrench, you're going to want to go through that portal, but do not do what I'm doing in this clip here. Do not, okay? I'm making this as clear as I can. Do not do what I'm doing here and run straight from the portal to spawn in that reflection by the little machine on the wall, because you will no longer be able to access this portal and get your reflection that you need that's on this step. Because I'm silly and I just ran straight in here, I had to use a clip from Geeky Pastimes who sent this to me. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the generosity. This is your next Spectral Reflection. Go through the Speed Cola portal, but then run to the tree and you should be able to spawn the reflection right in. Then you can go back to the Speed Cola room and hold square on this reflection to start that one up, and that's going to be number 7. You then need to get onto the basically final step of the Easter egg, but do not, I repeat, do not interact with Orlov to get him to drop his family photo, because once again, you need, as a matter of great importance, the Narked portal to access these final reflections. Go through the portal in the original Narked spawn and then go to the pond and you should get a reflection that's just here outside. They'll talk and then walk into the tunnel. You can also get another reflection inside the control room, which is where the trials are, in the very corner by the wall by. That's going to bring us up to 8 and 9. At this point, your Dark Ether will probably run out, so you'll probably need to go back into the Dark Ether via that Narked portal. And then your final one will be Orlov himself in the corner of the help room of Narked. You can activate that. He'll talk for a bit. He'll drop a postcard, which if you grab it when you go back to the real world, will teleport you into the boss fight, and then you can complete the Easter egg. And that will be all 10 of your Spectral Reflections grabbed. Thanks, guys. I've tried to keep this nice and quick just for the sort of expert players that already know these steps and just need to know locations and stuff. If you've enjoyed, drop a like. If you haven't, let me know why in the comment section down below. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye for now.